the Great Lakes ADA Center, Conversation Spotlight Series, Asian American and Pacific Islander Heritage Month 2022. Conversation with Wally Tablit, Director of State Policy at RespectAbility, Part 1.
What are some unique issues facing Asian Pacific Americans with disabilities?
That's a great question. And I don't know if it's a unique consideration or unique issue for the Asian American and Pacific Islander community, but I think it's important to recognize that it's important when we look at the field of disability support and the system and the structure. It was created and is led by white people. And so if you look at the number of people who identify as Asian American or Pacific Islander who are served by disability organizations, that number is small. Now, I've done this work and been in disability supports for over 25 years, and I proudly identify as an Asian man with a disability. And when we look at that data, the first thought could be, is the organization not doing enough to do the outreach to bring more people in? And or is the system then flawed? Are there not enough intentional and real commitments to bring more people who have been on the periphery and continue to be on the periphery to get them into service? For example, my previous organization, I led in Washington State, we served over 400 people. And the number of people who were not white was minimal. And it was one of those things, if we say we are going to be truly looking at inclusion and belonging, what are the ways that we can affect the system and create those conversations to bring more people into service? I'll tell you a story, and this was with someone we were serving. She was an African-American woman who had 2 children, and she was an immigrant. And her 2 adult sons could have been in service and signed up for service for over a year and a half. When I asked her why she had not signed up, she said, I didn't sign up because I thought this was just a white person service. Now, this woman wasn't Asian, but when I look at the stories and kind of experiences of that population, I can point to several that are similar to that. We have to do a better job about how we move that conversation. And disability continues to be one of the things that is not as predominant or brought to the center of the conversations around diversity, equity, inclusion. And I think we need to change that.
Brought to you by the Great Lakes ADA Center. Call us at 1-800-949-4232 or visit adagreatlakes.org and become a subscriber or follower at ADA Great Lakes. Pick your favorite social network. We're on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, and YouTube.